Hi, in this presentation we're going to talk about three things: using the Pomodoro technique, writing a revision, and getting your arms around track changes, which is the approach that I used when I commented on your papers. So here we go. We're going to talk about not the who or the when or the why the Pomodoro technique was developed, just the how. So let's start with talking about your revisions. Revisions is a big job. It's not something to leave to the end. In fact, I'm expecting at least one revision from you every week as you work on making your papers better and better. A revision is a new look at an existing piece of writing. In this case, your first drafts, the ones that you submitted to me for evaluation. Maybe the first thing to do is to decide which two out of the three essays are worth revising. Which are your favorites? Which deal with topics you care about, really care about, and which are your favorites? What if you don't care about any of the topics? Well, let me know, and you can start over with a new topic that you do care about. We'll start from scratch, and you can write and revise this paper and a second one. We're going to take small steps so that you don't put off this important phase for the end of the semester when you're rushed to catch up on other assignments you have, both in this class and in your other classes. This deserves your full and undivided attention. So set your timer for 25 minutes. Okay. Open each of the essays that I offered comments on. Make a copy of each. Work from the copy because on this copy you're going to accept or reject the comments. If you have Microsoft Word, go to the Review tab on the revision. If you have Microsoft Word, go to the Review tab on the ribbon. Make a promise to yourself. I will spend 25 minutes on reading all three papers. I will not interrupt myself, no distractions, and keep that promise. So if the phone suddenly rings and it's somebody important to you, ignore it for now. You can call them back when the timer goes off in 25 minutes. Focus, focus, focus. Okay, so this is what my screen looks like when I'm in Microsoft Word. As you can see, there's a home, a layout, document elements, a tables, a charts, a smart art, and a review section. Click on the review section and you'll see 5 segments. Comments, which is where I would add comments to your paper. Tracking, and this is where I either turn tracking on or off. And if you want to if you don't want to see my comments, you mark track changes off. And the next section is the changes. So put your cursor next to the first comment I made. If it's something you think you should keep, click on the Accept button. For example, if I corrected your spelling of my name, accept my change, the cursor will jump to the next comment or change that I made. Now let's say that I write you a little note. Abraham, this is a great topic for an analytical essay and you write with passion about it. Good job. I am concerned, though, about some of the points that need support from experts, as well as when you include statistics without citing the source. Now, if you delete this before you make the correction, you'll forget. You won't find and cite your sources, and the next time I see it, I'm going to see the same problem, and I'm going to write to you, why didn't you correct this the last time? Remember that tone. So maybe you don't want to delete this until you have the problem fixed. In this case, you might just want to click on the next button and move to the next comment. And maybe in the next comment, I found something that you wrote funny, and I tell you a story about how I handled a similar situation. I hope you read my comment, and I hope you laugh, and then I hope you delete this aside that I included just to let you know that I enjoyed your story. Easy, right? Okay, so now let's go to the next step in the Pomodoro technique. You worked for the entire 25 minutes. Good for you. And when the timer goes off, go do something else. Go do another task. Take a short break. Breathe. Meditate. Go for a short walk. Let the dog out. Have a cup of coffee. Now get back to work. For every 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break, 20 or 30 minutes. Your brain will need this time to assimilate the new information and rest before the next round of Pomodoros. So back to the revisions. You're reading my paper with my comments. You're thinking about the comments. You're deciding whether to accept, reject, or defer my comments, whether to do a little more research. What do you know now that you didn't know before? What strikes you as important now? Does one part of the paper seem like it should be the entire paper? Let's say that this was my paper. What do you notice about it? Well, I have a pretty good introduction. I have a lot of statistics. That's pretty good. And they lead to the thesis statement. And the thesis statement is the impact of the law allowing motorists to drive without a helmet goes beyond cyclists feeling the wind in their hair. It creates a strain on 3 areas of the Michigan economy: primary health care, rehabilitative care, and insurance premiums. And then I move to the first thing I promise in my thesis, something about primary health care, and I want to write about emergency procedures. And I did. This is my outline. I wrote about the ambulance, the first responders, the police. And then I wrote about the emergency room costs, the physicians, the nurses, the resources, the surgery, the hospital stay. And then I moved on to the rehabilitative care area. And I wrote a little bit about therapists. And then I wrote about insurance costs. And I talked about increased premiums. And then in the conclusion, I provided some more statistics and a little analysis. Well, as I look at this, it seems like I have a stronger sense of the costs of motorcycle accidents as they relate to primary health care. It looks like I want to write about the costs in terms of emergency care, the ambulance, the emergency room procedures, the number of physicians and nurses involved in this type of care, and the costs involved. I'm also interested in the resources. As for the rehabilitative care and the insurance care, they might be expensive, but I didn't deliver much. And so I'm thinking that maybe my paper should focus entirely on the primary health care that motorcyclists who have an accident receive. Maybe I should write not only about the cost of providing them care, but also the cost to others in the emergency room who must compete for time and attention of the emergency room staff when they're focused on something that is truly a catastrophic accident. So, I delivered, but not real well, and I could deliver a whole lot better if I focused more tightly. So, that's what I'm going to do in my revision. But keep in mind that it's your revision. You should know that no writer, not students, not instructors, not professional writers, no one gets it perfect the first time. The best writers keep working on it. They keep working by thinking about what they want to communicate and how best to do that. Everyone who's good does revisions. Everyone. So make good decisions, keep your point in mind, and choose the points and subpoints and evidence and sources that make your paper stronger. Not only for those who love you and understand that you're writing and will tell you that you're great no matter what, but those who don't know you and don't believe as you do yet. This is your analysis, and you're trying to be persuasive. Be persuasive, and use your revision to do that. So thank you. Talk to you later.